You're listening to the Jaybird Watching Podcast, the official podcast of jaysjournal.com and fansite.com. We are the official ballroom chat for everything Toronto Blue Jays baseball, from game highlights to rumors and all the stuff in between. Here's your host, Craig Borden, with co-hosts Jason Lyons and Liz McGuire. Now let's talk some Toronto Blue Jays baseball.
Good evening, Blue Jays fans, and welcome to the Jaybird Watching Podcast. I'm your host, Craig Borden, and we got the whole band together tonight. It's all ready for the trade deadline. All things are exciting. We actually won a game today after losing just a few. So anyway, let's go around the regular co-host groups here. Liz, how the heck are you?
Oh my God, we won a game. Yeah. Okay. I will say this to my friends here. I talk a lot with hockey fans, and now they're kind of on the Jays bandwagon. They're like, "You guys lost like 12-2 yesterday. Your season's over." And I'm like, "No,
they're not the Maple Leafs."
No, yeah, it doesn't mean anything. Like, we got like 600 billion games left. It's more about averages and trends and series, etc. So I do a lot of that. Of like, no, like the one you want, because I was like, one game, you're like, it's a wash. We're not going to win that. We'll get him. But you know what? We won a game, and I will choose to celebrate that. That's me.
There you go. Jason, how the heck are you, bud?
Well, I mean, it's so hot here in Vancouver. I had to actually move outside of the house because no one has air conditioning out here.
I see the guns are out. I see the guns out.
It never gets. Yeah, I got the guns out. Yeah, and I got my Stone Cold Steve Austin shirt on, representing for the.
There's the beer.
Yeah, I could probably use one actually. But yeah, I mean, this has been a tough series. It's been, 4 losses up to the win today. And I feel like they battled even in the game that they got hammered in. I felt like they were in that game and then just one bad inning, turned things sideways a little bit. But the nice thing for me is that I don't see them getting down. I don't see any infighting. I don't see any, just like you were saying, Liz, like it's game, 86 or something of a lot of games. And so, at this point, if you can cruise through this, they've got a really tough schedule coming up. Let's not split hairs. And I know we'll talk about that, but if they can get through this, and I know, it's interesting because I feel like we said this about 3 weeks ago or a month ago, if we can get through this part of the schedule and they just, they went batshit, and then, now we're back to it where they've really got to go hard for another couple of weeks. They've got some guys hurt and I think those guys will probably come back during this. Springer looked okay today. So, I mean, he was jumping around in the dugout. So, I mean, that doesn't have brain damage at least. So, that's a positive.
Positives, all positives. And we're only going to hopefully get some extra stuff tonight to make that even more positive. And with us tonight to talk about this crazy trade deadline that is right on, basically trade deadline eve, Thomas Hall. How you doing, buddy? Welcome to the show for the first time.
Uh-oh.
I think we got you on mute, bud.
Mute. Thomas, mute.
Wait for it.
He's got it.
Are we better now?
We're good. We're
there you go.
We good now, guys?
Yeah.
All right.
Good,
sorry about that.
We're all good.
Yeah, no, I'm doing great. Glad to join you guys. It's Christmas in July right now, so it's fun to be a baseball fan. It's fun to do what I do and cover and write about all these transactions that are going on right now. So yeah, couldn't be happier right now.
Good deal. So first things first, why don't we talk about this wonderful trade deadline that we already got one in the bag at this point. Sir Anthony Dominguez literally crossing the diamond during a doubleheader last night. Thomas, I know this was one of the guys I saw that you wrote about recently. What were your thoughts about him? First off, being one of the first guys being traded mid doubleheader in a long time.
Yeah, no. Yeah, no, it was a fun one to see the walkover from the Orioles dugout or the Orioles clubhouse to the Jays. It's certainly something that we don't see a lot of these days, so it's definitely unique to have that type of transaction happen during the middle of a doubleheader. But it's a move that the Jays desperately needed to make. We all know how taxed their bullpen has been this season, especially at the back end. No Jimmy Garcia, Nick Sandlin's on the IL too. Jeff Hoffman has had to carry so much weight for the bullpen. They've had some really good storylines in Yariel Rodriguez and Braden Fisher and Brendan Little, but to be able to add a guy like Sir Anthony Dominguez at the back end, we've already seen these last 2 games how valuable he can be for this bullpen. The amount of swing and miss and velocity that he adds for the Blue Jays pen is well worth giving up a prospect like Duran Watts Brown. And it came at a steep price, especially for a rental, but ultimately, if this is the start of not an overhaul, but a significant addition for the Blue Jays bullpen, then they're off to a pretty good start.
Good deal. Jason, what did you think about these shenanigans that almost felt like Bill Goldberg walking out to the ring a little bit when they were in that video, showing him walk from locker room to locker room?
Well, I think my favorite was, and like I said to you before we came on, it was kind of Moneyball-esque where they made the trade and they were like send him, don't send him into the clubhouse, send him that way. I really appreciated the fact that the cameraman picked up the Orioles bullpen, just ripping on him as he's going by. And then even better, this trade couldn't have been any better with the upside down 8 on his jersey.
Yeah, it was so good.
Total gong show, like softball team stuff. And you're just like this couldn't be a better start for this guy. And then he just starts blowing smoke past his own team. And you're like, wow,
there it is.
You get another one to walk over. Is that what they're doing? Are we just selling Orioles at this point? So I agree with Thomas that it was a decently steep price to get. But, in this day and age, the baseball landscape we're in, we say he's a rental, but is he? He could finish out the season strong. I watched him talking today. He is jazzed to be a Toronto Blue Jay, which – awesome. We want that. Yeah. We want guys who feel like the Jays could go all the way this year. And I think that what you're going to see is as this deadline pinches, you're going to see more guys want that. I think the Jays will actually be turning down trades, to be honest with you, to try and make more of a perfect trade. And let's be clear, at this point right now, the Yankees are winning the trade with the trade for McMahon. That's how do they snake that one? He's a top tier third baseman, and how does anybody give him to the Yankees? I don't care who you are.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I would build on what Jason was saying there for a second. I like the people, man, how sick would that be to be we're not doing well. I'm traded to first place team. I get to march over there. I'm so used to people being sad and denying our trades or not wanting to come here or bitching about our tax rate. I'm tired. But it's nice just to see somebody yeah, all right, cool, winning, let's go. I love that. It makes me very happy. Thank you.
Yeah. So speaking of winning and losing a little bit here, our buddy Esteban, our big fan, was actually at the game in Baltimore, and I can't believe you survived, bud. It was a bajillion degrees, temperature of the sun. Yep. Were you at least sitting in the splash zone or something like that to be able to handle that one? So good stuff. But also we got our buddy the Heck is making fun of your Austin 316, Mr. Lions.
Yeah.
So good stuff going on. But Blue Jays fans are hyped, excited. We see plenty of them in the chat. Please dive in and chit chat with us. But as far as it goes, the Yankees have gotten the two big. Well, I won't say big, but they've gotten some good pieces. They got Slater today. I saw they grabbed him. They also had Ryan McMahon, as you pointed out. My favorite thing, at least, of the Ryan McMahon trade was that we can finally put these rumors of the Blue Jays ever being forever linked to Ryan McMahon to rest, because I was sick of hearing it. It's been 5 years. It's his whole major league career he was going to be a Toronto Blue Jay. It was destined. Go ahead.
You're bang on with that. Yeah, no, for so long, it was ever since Matt Chapman signed with the Giants, it seemed like every trade deadline, every offseason, it was Ryan McMahon to the Jays, Ryan McMahon to the Jays. And the fit made sense from a defensive perspective, but I was always so skeptical of his bat because of the Coors Field element of it all. And we've seen it this year. There's a lot of swing and miss to his profile too. So I think the Jays are far better off with the third base combination that they have right now. And the Yankees desperately needed defense. So McMahon makes a ton of sense. Just the timing of it all is hilarious to me, that they commit all those errors in that 3-game series against the Blue Jays. And then right after that, they go out and acquire a defensive specialist after they were linked to Eugenio Suarez for so many weeks too.
Yeah. And to that point, I'm strangely okay if they want to just, relegate him down to a DH or something like that. But to that point, I don't think the Yankees are even pushing on him, or the bidding war for Suarez has just become monstrously crazy.
Did he break his hand? He got hit in the same hand.
Oh, no, he was. He played today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So there is a win there for him, at least as far as that thing goes. And it was just, I still can't believe the bidding war that is going on for what it sounds like the Arizona Diamondbacks team, basically, at this point. Liz, I know you and I have talked about getting pitching. That the Arizona Diamondbacks are apparently the place that everybody's arguing over for pitching.
I mean, it's like, that's good. I mean, I don't know how I feel about that. I have no opinion on that other than I'm surprised.
Yeah, Zach Gallen is a free agent at the end of the season, and is Merrill actually a free agent at the end of the season? Tom, do you know? I feel like
him too. Merrill Kelly, Shelby Miller as well as a reliever who's hurt right now, but he's another pending free agent that they have. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Arizona just tries to have this fire sale here to try and recoup as many assets as they can, because like they're really stuck in the middle with the way their roster is built.
Yep. So, Jason, all the rumors and everything that have been flying around from Joe Ryan, Sandy Alcantara, Dylan Cease, for some reason, apparently is being linked to trades, even though the Padres are right in the thick of it. There's all these crazy things, but is there anything that you've heard that you are actually like intrigued or you might think actually could happen to the Blue Jays?
Yeah, Bednar. I think Bednar is the hot one. I think he ticks a lot of boxes for the Jays. The Jays seem to like trading with Pittsburgh for some weird reason. It's like the Canucks and the Penguins, so you only trade with one team, and it's the Pittsburgh Penguins for some weird reason. But yeah, I mean, it's Bednar makes perfect sense. I don't really see too many other holes. The only other thing I can think of is maybe the Jays might unload something that is of high value right now because we have bodies coming back. I mean, that's the only other thing I can think of is they could possibly hedge a little bit of future based on Santander and Varsho and all these guys coming back that, I mean, you may be able to take a Davis Schneider and turn him into 2 or 3 good prospects, or you may be able to take an Anthony Rodon and turn him into a couple of big prospects. So, I mean, it's an interesting time for the Jays because 6 months ago they had, the worst farm team in the system, the worst, player profiles, all of this stuff was the worst. And now I can think of 6 guys that would be hot commodities on other teams, especially challengers, like teams that are in the wild card race. I mean, if you dangle a Nathan Lucas in front of one of them, I mean, how would they not? I mean, how could you not sell a little bit of your future to get a guy like that can guarantee you, runs, hits, and good defense?
Yeah. What do you think on that one, Thomas, as far as who might go in some of these trades? Because we have a plethora of guys in the outfield that are looking really damn good to Jason's
Yes.
point.
That's the really interesting thing too, is because the Jays are in such a unique position where they have a bunch of MLB ready guys who are cost effective and controllable that they could flip in deals. They have even guys like Joey Loperfido, Will Wagner that they could dangle in trade conversations. And then you even go to AAA and you have a Relvis Martinez who's going to be out of options next season. Jonathan Clase, same thing. He'll be out of options as well. And then you have pitching prospects at AA like Cal Steven and Trey Savage. We just saw them move Jerron Watts-Brown. Kendry Rojas made his AAA debut today. Gage Stanifer in High A Vancouver. Like there's a nice mix for the Blue Jays to be able to turn to, depending on what the ask is. And looking at the prices especially for relievers, it's a very high lucrative market for sellers. So I wouldn't be surprised if they do have to dip into that pool or that area of their prospect pool. But in terms of the Nathan Lucases and the Davis Schneiders, like I would be hesitant to move those guys because they have settled into such key complementary roles for the Blue Jays. And so I think you could bring back Dalton Varsho and still be fine. The Blue Jays have been very comfortable and going heavy in outfielders this season. So I wouldn't be surprised if they did a similar thing once Varsho comes back this weekend. Anthony Santander, who knows what's going on with him when or if he ends up coming back. So I do think you have a little bit of flexibility there in determining which guys you do ultimately keep and which guys you either trade or send back to AAA Buffalo.
Yeah. And we got one in the chat that's mentioning that whole same thing. Our buddy Michael is but Loperfido's looking damn good right now. That's all I can really say. He's raked since coming up. He batted in the leadoff spot this afternoon. He's finding a way to be a very big contributor on a team, which clearly he has not been a thought of being part of this roster, at least until recent weeks.
He's an excellent baseball player. Let's be clear about that. He is given the opportunity. He's Cody Bellinger. Given the opportunity, he will be in that upper echelon of baseball IQ, unbelievable speed, great outfield IQ. He's just a really good baseball player. And, shame on us for not really. I mean, I feel like, Craig, you recognized it when they made the trade that he was pretty darn good. But I mean, I had no clue. And then you start to watch him and he was pretty, nervous and didn't play all that great. And then he, down and up and down and up. And now he's just like, screw it, pedal to the metal. Like, pull me out of the lineup because I'm not going to let you, I'm not going to let you. So it's nice to see. He seems like a really good kid and could be a Blue Jay for a long time. Pretty cool.
Loperfido could be the second half of the season's, Addison Barger if he continues being on this echelon that he's been playing over the last 4 weeks. But the biggest question to that, what you mentioned a moment ago, Tom, is when all these guys come back, where's his bat going to be in this lineup? I do think there's a place for it. I really do, but something's going to have to give. And you mentioned last year me being high on the kid when he came over in the trade. The other guy that might get traded too is Charles McAdoo, who's been doing also very well in the minor leagues for the Blue Jays. And I liked him because I loved his swing. Like it's nice, free, easy, boom, just like Loperfido's is. And there's something to be said about making hard contact and being able to find a way to do damage. Loperfido's one of those guys I think in his career is going to run into 20 home runs a season and you're not going to notice it. It's just going to be nice, free, easy from the left side. It's going to be fun. But to that point, Michael's not wrong that you talk about who could be traded. So one that was floating around in our chat window here as far as trade rumors is apparently the Guardians are, with the wonderful fun that is the gambling dispute going on in their locker room with Clase and whatnot. Stephen Kwan and Bieber apparently are free and moving around potentially at this trade deadline. I love Stephen Kwan and what he brings to a lineup. Go ahead, Liz. Drop it.
That's it. I want Kwan. He gets on base. He gets hit. Like, give me this man.
Yeah.
He's another outfielder. Where do we put him? Like, I mean,
trade some outfielders for the outfielders.
We can't just keep hiding guys in the dugout and be like, hey, just don't say anything. And then we'll, in the seventh inning, I'll put you in. Like, it's,
Jason, you have a lot of good opinions, but I think we should just hide them there. We just got to stack 2 guys in a trench coat. It's going to be fine, man.
Stack 2 dudes in a trench coat.
Don't worry about it. So, but there's some, the more and more I think about it, it doesn't shock me that the Guardians are thinking about this. You look at what they got going on the field. They don't seem to be putting the chips into the table. So maybe they're looking to load up. And if they're looking to load up, getting some major league ready outfielders from the Toronto Blue Jays and flipping one of their guys that they're going to have to pay a lot of money for over the next probably few years in arbitration, it does make some sense that they would be able to back end and put that money potentially elsewhere. I think when I looked up Stephen Kwan's contract status, he has 2 years of arbitration, and I think would technically be with the Guardians right now until 2028. So that's an interesting option for the Blue Jays and hedging.
He's not a rental. At the very least, he's not a rental. If you do trade for him, he will be in your outfield and he will be a solid player. For everything that I see about the guy, I mean, he seems to be a real like dugout guy. Everybody seems to like him. Team guy, sell out the body. Really likes to play baseball. I mean, he'd fit in with this group of Blue Jays.
Grinder,
and again, we should sidebar a little bit and talk about what's happening at the Indians. Yeah. I mean, is this really going on? Like is that thing true about him sending the text out that said, I can't keep throwing these games, and somebody saw it?
I didn't hear that. What?
Yeah, I read it yesterday that Class A sent a text out, and I mean the joke was he sent it to Shohei, but I'm with you, Thomas. I don't believe it, but I mean, if you do look back, they showed some video of some clearly wild pitches that were not even close to lose games, and you're like, I mean, if I had $1 million on that,
where there's smoke, there could be fire.
Yeah, it would be very damning if that ended up being true.
Yeah. Meanwhile, if the
right,
betting's the
like
flip side
if you have
of
one of the best closers in baseball doing that, right?
Yeah. If you got the flip side of the coin, though, this is the thing that irks me, and we said this about Pete Rose on this show and things of this nature before. Let's say he wasn't throwing the games and he was just gambling on sports. If they are suspending him for just literally doing FanDuel for other Major League Baseball games, when they immediately cut to a commercial break 3 seconds after he gets off the mound, and you're going to see advertising from FanDuel, DraftKings,
Bet99, yeah,
Bet99.
I mean, it's every advertisement. I think my favorite one was
if he's
Shane
throwing
Pitt.
games, problem. Yeah. If he's just betting on baseball that he's not even affiliating himself with other games, I could really give two shits when I can go over and blow $9 billion of, assuming I ever had any money to ever bet on anything.
But we have to realize as a group and as media and as fans and everything, these guys are gamblers. They gamble on the plane. They gamble in the dugout. They gamble, they gamble in the clubhouse. And so to be so naive that these guys aren't sports gambling is insane. So where do you draw the line? And that's why I feel like this one was a little bit more than just the norm. It was so fast. There was nothing about anything. It didn't allow any air to get out on this. And I feel like, he either cheated or he got caught gambling on Guardians games. Maybe he didn't pitch in those games, or how would he even know, in some cases if he was going in. Yeah. So I feel like there's more to it. I feel like it's tough. Like I was going to say, like Shane Pinto, when he was playing for the Senators and he gets suspended for 80 games for gambling. And the picture they use for his suspension has Bet99 on the side of the Senators' helmets. Like where is the level of hypocrisy that's okay? Where we're like, all those guys can do it. You can do it. And, please gamble responsibly, but do dump every dime you have into this. We have offshore accounts we need to fill. And then we hold a guy out that's 22 years old and has a buttload of money and, is betting on NHL games. Like, so what?
Yeah. So we might have breaking news.
Yeah, I mean, it's... yeah, we do. We got Ryan Helsley to the Mets.
Yeah, because there wasn't enough going in the Mets' favor today. Ryan Helsley is apparently
oh my god,
the Mets. So, it looks like it's going to be three prospects.
Yeah,
in their top 15 going to the Cardinals from the.
Wow.
Mets. Or is it?
They're a sinking ship too right now.
Yeah. So and then also Tyler Rogers got traded earlier today too. I'm surprised the Giants let him go, but they're trying to bank on the right pieces. So interesting.
Yeah, they're just taking advantage of what's a seller's market. Like they got a king's ransom for Tyler Rogers, who's a rental. Like it's just the prices are ridiculous right now for relievers, and I think that's probably why you won't see the Jays make any moves until tomorrow, when they're just trying to wait as long as possible for the prices to drop. It's fortunate that they were able to get Sir Anthony Dominguez when they did, and they didn't have to wait at all before they were able to use him. But to give up three prospects for somebody like Tyler Rogers, who doesn't throw hard, doesn't get swing and miss, he's elite at inducing soft contact and ground balls, but it's such a high price to pay. We saw what Duran cost, the Phillies. Now Ryan Helsley brings back three prospects. Like it's so beneficial for sellers to do what they're doing. Like, if anyone's even on the bubble and they have intriguing relievers or intriguing players to sell, like they should be jumping on the opportunity to do so right now, because you're going to get a major haul in return for them.
Yeah. And then somebody that can't hit his way out of a brown paper bag, but I still love him to death, earlier today being traded by Ke'Bryan Hayes, going to the Cincinnati Reds for two higher end prospects too. So like you said, it is turned into a very good seller's market, which I think we were all kind of guessing, but I wasn't expecting the level of these kind of things. I honestly was expecting Julio or Johan Duran not to go anywhere, because of the asking price was probably going to be so obnoxious because he's under team control. But it got done, and here we are.
I think one of the things that this creates is being a very interesting thing that now, Major League Baseball has talked about for a number of years, and they keep sort of saying, hey guys, we're going to go to a salary cap. hey guys, look over me. I'm the the
You got
president
where
of
I
the
want
league.
to go.
I'm going to go with the salary cap, and now you're staring a salary cap straight in the face. Where of course players like Harper and these other guys are angry because they want to make just astronomical money any single time they can. But I think what we're looking at here is the weakest crop of players that are below the sort of high level of player you have on your team. The next group is the weakest I've seen in a long time. And they're keeping these weak players rather than promoting guys up from Buffalo and other places in some cases, so they can hide them also. So just what you guys are talking about, like a journeyman reliever who is not great will get you return because you've kept him up, even though he gets shelled every now and again. Nobody really cares. Some teams are just looking for change. They're just looking to say, well, we did something, we got this old fart or this, whatever we did. But
so I want to scratch that itch, because has everybody heard the Bryce Harper story? Allegedly. Because Bryce Harper has Rob Manfred's doing his wonderful wander around the major league clubhouses and whatnot to talk to the players. Like, it's a typical thing. It's not like this was a special trip, but there definitely was a special agenda. And Bryce Harper in the Phillies locker room apparently had a nice caught a wind of what's going on. And apparently there was a few warnings saying, don't do this. And then he got him out of the damn locker room. Bryce Harper just said, get the fuck out. So I thought that was very interesting. And to that point, it does not shock me, because Bryce Harper strikes me as one of those ones with the way he plays the game and how his wonderful TikToks about food
Very
are.
intense. And mellow.
But in the midst of that, he strikes me as similar to my own character, best friend or worst enemy. There's not really an in-between. It's just one end of the spectrum or the other. And Manfred clearly went from really quickly to the worst enemy part, and he had to get thrown out of that locker room after repeatedly being warned to not talk about salary cap, because the team does not want to hear it. The players don't want to hear it. And the myth is that, at least from the players' side, is it doesn't help the players at all, which you can make that argument without even thinking about it, because great. Major League Baseball players are the only pro sport that doesn't have a salary cap in it, so you can just go up to freaking crazy money like we've been seeing over the last few years. But the other flip side of that is that Harper and the Players Union have been pushing for a floor. You have to spend this much money to actually play the damn game. Sacramento, whatever the hell town they are, Oakland A's. So, it's just insane to me that we're actually. If I'm the Blue Jays general management right now, outside of the other reasons that we've made abundantly clear on this show, is this management group going to be around? Is this thing going to happen? Are we going to just run off into the sunset, all guns blazing? There could not be a season next year.
Well,
it's that simple. So put your chips
if
on
they
the table
if they
and go
try
for the win.
Yeah, if they try and push a salary cap, like if the owners really want to dig their heels in, we won't be playing baseball in 2027 at all. Like that's how serious this is. The players are not budging on this, and they shouldn't, because a salary cap is not needed. Like it doesn't, there is no need. You don't need to penalize the teams who are spending money. You need to penalize the teams and stop rewarding teams for not spending. Stop giving them frivolous draft picks that just help them continue to manipulate the current system. The Rays, the Marlins, the Pirates, like the list goes on and on of all the teams who can very easily spend money, spend more than $100 million, and actively choose not to, and then point the finger at teams like the Dodgers and the Mets and the Yankees and the Phillies and the Blue Jays and saying they're the problem, when it's not actually the case. It's the opposite, where those lower end teams, those quote unquote small market teams, and there really aren't any small market teams, they just act like it. And if you call them on it, they won't show us and everyone their books either to back that up. So I really don't see the benefit in having a salary cap at all in Major League Baseball. I think more sports, more pro sports would actually benefit from not necessarily copying what Major League Baseball does, but not having a hard cap, because like that hurts the sport. And we've seen how much growth Major League Baseball has had over the last number of years, to potentially have a entire canceled season because of a salary cap would be so devastating, and it would set the sport back so many years.
And it's not just like my youth and everybody, a lot of people in this group and everybody listening in, there's nothing other than that salary cap thing, and no baseball just destroys baseball in Toronto.
Yep.
We are finally back in like the 2010s of this team being moderate level of relevant from the last Major League Baseball strike. So it's in just the fact that baseball wouldn't happen. I don't know what happens to this team or whatever, anything. And this is too important to the community of Toronto to have the Blue Jays. And especially with what we're doing right now, leading the way in the American League East, to not put the chips in the table right now and win when there's this pending looming thing over your head, along with, like I mentioned, the management group, all the other crap, Rogers being the big owner that they have, and they're finally spending money. So why put a cap on it?
I'm with Thomas that I mean, and I certainly do think that, and I feel like Bryce Harper's right about the bottom spend. Like, there has to be a bottom spend, and it has to be put in place, and it has to be observed. And if you don't, you get penalized. And those penalties should be equally as severe as if anyone overspends or any of these other things. I think the big thing, and it isn't necessarily a salary cap. I think what it is it should be a contract cap, whether it be length of time or dollar value attached to it. Because as we've seen, based on the last 2 or 3 that have been signed, we're going to start to see numbers that don't actually exist. Like, we're going to see guys signing for $3 billion. And you're like, okay, well, what does that actually mean? Like let's just effectively take Shohei's contract and break it down into what it will be. So there will be a point in time when the Dodgers owe Shohei a lot of money. So the options for the Dodgers are going to be sell to a Japanese company that Shohei probably owns or is associated with. He gets his money back out of that. He keeps a piece of the Dodgers. He sells it back to whoever the hell he sells it back to. Everyone's hunky-dory. They all get paid. The problem with that is you just can't keep doing that. Like, the Mets can't sell the Mets to Juan Soto's T-shirt corporation in the Dominican Republic for $4 billion and then get that money back there is no, the Major League Baseball teams don't have deep enough pockets to keep up with this. No one does. I mean, we're starting to get out of F1 numbers and out of, soccer, which is, and let's be clear with everyone, and I love you all very much, soccer is way more watched and popular than baseball. It's not even a close argument. And I would say F1 is in that neighborhood as well, but you're looking at the extinguishing possibilities of teams, like where somebody signs a player and 10 years later, they're like, we got nothing to pay anybody else. Sorry.
Yeah.
We got one guy to run out there.
Yeah. So got our buddy New Brunswick, Canada guy. I don't know if you were reading ahead on the
I wasn't
chat room here or not.
I do like him though. I do like him.
But there's that whole, he's thinking the same thing as as far as the cap and the floor, 10-year max. So same idea. We've got plenty of you in the chat. Keep it coming. So definitely not a problem. And I just talk Jeremy here for a minute. I would love to see video if there was actually a war of them yelling in the locker room at each other. I'm picturing.
Yeah, give me the security footage of that one.
Yeah, I'm picturing when Bryce Harper and Jonathan Papelbon got into it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm picturing that kind of thing. So
Thomas, choke them out.
Thomas, we were talking before we came on, and Liz, I'd like to hear your thoughts on this too, because I find this to be one of the more interesting things about this entire. And this isn't Jays centric. This is baseball centric. Yes. Why are the Angels trading for players right now? Why are they buying?
So it could be a bit of both. They could very easily just be backfilling their roster with major league caliber guys before they dump Reed Detmers, possibly Kenley Jansen. Like, it could just be a way of them saying, hey, look, like we're not fully selling off. We are bringing guys in. They're still filling their roster with guys who should be there. But it could also be a case of the Angels are just one of those teams that do things backwards and believe that they're actually buyers rather than sellers. And it all runs back to their owner, Perry Minizian. Like he is so toxic for that team. And I truly don't think the Angels will ever do anything worth of relevance while he still owns the team. And it's so fortunate because you immediately think of Mike Trout and how much of a loyal guy he is. And for him to have to continue to suffer and be on their team, it just really breaks your heart because the playoffs would be so much better if he were in it. And so, personally too, I'm a guy who has been a huge Taylor Ward fan, and I would love to see the Jays go out and acquire Taylor Ward because I think he'd be a great fit on their team. But with the Angels now maybe buying, it's unclear as to what their plans were going to be moving forward now. And so, they're a team that you can't predict because they're like predicting the weather, right? You think it's going to do one thing and then they do the complete opposite.
If Taylor Ward becomes a Blue Jay, my only request is that somebody gets him a shirt like we had for Boatbound Francis last season, hittable and not special, and just give it to him.
That would be great. I would love to see that.
There's a prank there that's got to be done. You can't just can't leave.
The Angels should be fine. Like if you want to, the Angels should be fined. You should be actively finding like franchise owners who are not adding to the league at all. Like I'm still like they like biffed that whole Ohtani thing so hard. Like they thought they were gonna make a run. They didn't make the run. Like that.
They had the best two players in Major League Baseball.
Did
not make the playoffs.
What stupid losers?
I mean,
you're stupid losers. Come on. Anyway.
In their prime, like they had Ohtani and Trout in their prime when they were both just starting to Ohtani. I still remember when he was starting to touch 100 and just smashing the ball out, and we were like, how did everyone take a like? I mean, I thought this guy was going to be good, but nothing like this. And then it just turns into this thing. And now I feel again, Thomas, I 100% agree with you. I feel so bad for Mike Trout. Like, I just wish they would be like, okay, I don't even care if he goes to the Yankees, to be frank with you. Like, just get him out of there and allow the player, possibly the best player to ever play. Yeah, just let him have a year or two in the playing in October, like for God's sakes.
Yeah, we might have lost our buddy for a minute, seeing he's been having so much fun with the in his wonderful apartment. Just gonna go like this.
He fell down a well. It looks like there.
Yeah, just call Lassie. Yeah. Guys, I have a question for you. Who? Okay, there's been speak of Arjun being traded. Arjun, what are our thoughts on that?
I don't like it.
Yeah,
I think it's a terrible idea. I mean, I do. You'd have to see him to realize that he is a special baseball player. He's a special kid. He's a special baseball player. I mean, is he going to pan out to be as good as Bo? I mean, Bo at his height, I don't know. I mean, is he going to be Alex Correa? I don't know.
Yep.
He's what, 20?
I like Alex Correa.
He's a hell of a baseball player. He's slim. He still hits the ball out of the park. So, I mean, it's not that he's lacking power. And to be frank with you, if offered the right package, it wouldn't be the worst move, because the worst part about being a shortstop is everybody's a shortstop. All the best
and we
players
just drafted another one. Just saying.
Right. So there's always a shortstop in the cupboard ready to pop out. And so, Arjun has a lot of name cred right now. He's got the whole India thing as something that people are recognizing, and baseball's exploding in India. And I'm sure teams like the Mets and Yankees and others see an opportunity to maybe go play a game. And like, how many people do you think they'd get to a game if the Yankees and the Dodgers went over and played a 3-game series? I mean, they'd probably get 200,000 people in the stadium for 3 games. And it'd be amazing for baseball. Now, the Jays also have to be thinking about. The Jays have to think that, Canada has a significant Persian, population, and a lot of we play baseball against a lot of Indo, Canadian kids and a lot of Persian kids and it's the sport is growing as people get, more used to it. New people coming to Canada and to the US. But I feel like it's one you don't want to let go, but I feel like there's that in every team. Like you see guys that are coming up and you're like, Jesus, I hope that guy makes it to the team. And then they trade him away for good assets. And you're like, yeah, maybe that was the right thing to do. Were you just talking to a ghost, Liz?
Yeah, I was talking to a ghost.
Was it Casper? He's my friend. He's my favorite ghost.
No, man. Although we're trying to get Devin Sawa on the pod. So we could actually have Casper on the podcast.
Boom.
Was it?
What's his trade rumors? What's he got?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can he see me?
No, he can't.
I'll start speaking in tongues. But yeah, I don't know. I'm nervous with these guys, with our ownership making trades. Is anyone else like? I don't know.
Don't you guys feel though, as a group, that last year was such a shit show, and this year it really hasn't been. I'm wondering if somebody didn't come down the hall and be like, "Do your jobs," and then leave, and they were like, "Oh shit, sorry." We could do those jobs. Let me just get a pen here. And
stop texting.
Sign Vladdy.
Cheers.
The ghost of Ted Rogers. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
The ghost of Ted Rogers floated down and kicked both of them in the nuts.
Yeah.
That's perfect. But to that point, like I said, it's just there's something gonna happen. The question is it gonna be really the big thing? And in my opinion, unless you're gonna get Joe Ryan from the Twins, or you're going to get Stephen Kwan from the Guardians, or someone in that echelon, Namala and Yasevich are off limits. And then definitely not both going somewhere in the same trade for either of those people.
No.
But what do I know? Because that's where the market is right now. It worries me if you went to the Guardians right now to trade, that you're either going to have to give them one of those two and four other top prospects, which fine, great. I'm getting Stephen Kwan to play outfield for me for the next 3 seasons. Great. Win. Same thing if you go get Joe Ryan. I'm getting him for the next 3 Major League Baseball seasons. You don't necessarily need Trey Yasevich potentially to come back up. And hopefully Ricky Tiedemann and company the next few years get healthy and throwing in the Major League level too. So there's some other pieces to that. But you just don't know right now. 300 of you in the chat. Thank you very much. There's also a bunch of you on TikTok that number doesn't include. Hit us up in those comments section and the cheap seats. For wrapping up here at the top of the hour. It looks like our buddy Thomas might have had to quit out early because of his lovely internet or his phone battery died. One or the other. So I want to pick topics you two want to chit chat on while we're waiting for some of these comments and stuff to roll in. Is there anything that you've been wanting to discuss? Because this has been a weird week with it. Optimism, shit play on the field. Which way do you want to go?
What happened? Look, guys, what happened there? Like, let's just what happened?
The Orioles are healthy, is what I saw.
You can't, you can't keep it. You can't keep up the pace they were at. Like, I mean, at some point they were going to falter. I mean, it sucks that it's against it's against the Orioles and not, against the Dodgers in a week and a half. But that being said, I do feel like, like they've got, what do they got? The Royals and then the Dodgers. So as much as was made of that Yankees series, I guarantee you the most eyes in the last possibly 3 years of Blue Jays baseball in the US and Canada will be on that series. And if the Jays take the Dodgers to the woodshed, it's going to put a white hot fear into the National League. I mean, even if they're resting a little bit right now to say, hey, let's just take it easy. We can lose a few here. And I mean, like we said earlier, it's game 86 or whatever the hell it is. We got to go at these guys with, both barrels, and we got to smack them around like we did the Yankees a couple of weeks ago. Like we have to. And if they do, it will put a whole new spin on what's going on. It's too bad because I think the trade deadline, when's the trade deadline? Tomorrow?
It is literally tomorrow at 6 p.m.
Yeah.
So 7.
It's too bad we can't wait that long because if they were to win that series, the trades would change dramatically. There would be, there would be guys that were knocking down the door to come. But I mean, they don't have an easy schedule. what have they got? They've got the Royals, they've got Colorado, then they've got the Dodgers, Cubs, and then Texas, who is the hottest team, since the All-Star break. They won 9 in a row. They finally lost the other night. They got hammered, but we're starting to see that the small amount of parity that massive contracts allow you to have, like if you have one guy on a massive heater, the rest of your team isn't that great, or can be privy to not being great. And I mean, the Mets have sort of hung around. The Jays, are excelling. But I think we're going to start to see some teams start to really struggle in the next couple of weeks. Dog days starting. August is a brutal beast. You're playing in 40-degree weather. Like, I mean, it looked unbearable in Baltimore the other night. Like,
it was wild.
Dudes would get a good idea. They'd be like, hey, I wonder if, and just like drenched in sweat, like immediately. So it's a hard game to play when it's that kind of level of exhausting.
Our buddy Esteban didn't give us the inside on the Heat there in Baltimore, even though he was at the game on Monday night.
Oh man,
still there, bud. Let us know.
Yeah,
I have a strange feeling having some firsthand is only going to confirm the fear that we had for being outside in the sun and melting.
They made a little hut. They made a little
It was Barger and who else? What was it? I know Barger was one of the ones hiding.
I know Schneider. It was Schneider too, I think.
Yeah, Shire.
The only other thing, and I mean, this makes me happy, is Kirk is 7-day. He's gonna tentatively be on track to play a rehab game in Buffalo on Saturday. That's great. Springer day today. Yimi Garcia
appears to be coming back for this series against the Royals. So there's that too.
Yeah, he's on the 10-day still, but I mean, I think they're kind of trying to keep him quiet a little bit. I mean, all he's been doing is hitting home runs. Like if anybody throws him a ball that's even remotely in the strike zone, he puts it into the seats. So,
which is what he was doing right before he got hurt.
Yeah, and I mean, Jimmy Garcia.
Remember that?
Yeah, Garcia is they're saying is a couple of days away, a week away. So I mean, it's August, baby. August. It's do or die. And the Jays, I feel like they're in a good spot right now. They're in a good, they've got good momentum behind them. And I mean, I hope they can just keep this push rolling.
Hey, we got our buddy back.
Oh, hey,
buddy.
Okay, Thomas.
Sorry, guys.
Okay, who's a guy that you are like, this guy's off limits on the Jays? Like, other than
of trying to do this on my phone, so
Megatron is off limits.
Okay, who's a guy on the Jays, like not one of the main guys, but one of the like more movable guys? You're like, these guys are off limits.
Like on their current roster right now, or prospect system?
But either or.
So I would say, like, in terms of prospects, I would have two untouchables right now: Trey Savage, Arjun Nimala. Like, those are two prospects that I would be very, very hesitant to move. Like, if Stephen Kwan were available, then like, sure, I would be open to a conversation about Nimala. In terms of their major league roster, I think Vladdy, Bo, your core guys, Barger, you don't touch those guys. Alejandro Kirk too, George Springer, obviously. You're not moving anyone from your starting rotation, like especially in a year where the market is so thin. Your bullpen too, like I think that's pretty. That you're trying to improve the bullpen, so I don't see any benefit in subtracting from that. So I think if you were to take somebody off the major league roster and include them in a trade package, it would be one of those younger, controllable guys, somebody like Davis Schneider, Joey Loperfido, Will Wagner, Leo Jimenez too. He's somebody that if you're looking for a strong defender, he could definitely fit that bill for you. Somebody who it's for contact, puts the ball in play. Other than that, though, everyone else should be available to me. Like, the Blue Jays need to be extremely aggressive here with their trade deadline to try and maximize their chances to go on a deep run. And to do that, you got to, unfortunately, sometimes give up some of those young players that you don't necessarily want to, but to further your current roster to get guys that can help you now, like they did with the Sir Anthony Dominguez trade, you unfortunately have to make those types of tough decisions.
I keep thinking he's been knighted, that guy.
Yeah, same.
Sir Anthony Dominguez.
Yeah. So I saw it on Twitter right when it happened, and somebody did the picture of Drake doing the right, and it was showing Anthony Hopkins, Sir Anthony Hopkins, in the first picture. And then it goes, no, not that one, and then the other one, Sir Anthony Dominguez. So very funny, but it is one of those things. It's really fun to play around with a name, and I hope the Blue Jays have fun goofing around with that for the end of the season. Just read some fun stuff on Twitter, and I want to go back 2 seconds at least for the conversation we were having about the Harper and the salary cap thing. Apparently, Manfred has not visited the Blue Jays yet.
Yeah, I read that.
Who is rather vocal in our locker room that is probably going to strangle him?
Max Scherzer.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All the pitchers who are weird.
All of the pitchers. Name a pitcher. Any of our pitchers.
Gosman. Yeah.
Gosman
he better be careful. Yeah. Even Bo Bichette, like he's a silent ninja. Like he doesn't have the type of experience and knowledge like those other veteran guys do. But don't mess with Bo Bichette. Like he's somebody you don't cross.
Their dads would be speaking in their ear. All those guys' dads would be speaking in their ear.
Yeah, exactly. So there's a lot of experience in that Blue Jay locker room, just like the Phillies locker room. I have a strange feeling that if I'm Ron Manfred, I'm wearing a full flak jacket and a helmet into that locker room when I go.
Maybe zoom it. You know, like John Hamm says, you could have skipped it.
Yes.
You maybe you zoom this one, buddy.
Maybe you zoom it. That's too funny. I wonder. Oh God. So Jeremy's asking if we Scherzer's lit in the fire under Eric Lawler.
I hope so.
I saw them talking about it. What ended up happening?
Yeah, I mean. Yeah,
I don't know
I wouldn't walk up on Max Scherzer on a game day either.
No, they never told us what. Like we know Scherzer didn't actually hit him, but we don't know. Like I think he walked into something. I think it was obviously something so stupid. You're like, we're gonna cover that up. Like just cover that up.
Made him look angry.
So
it was like
I have a theory.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So I think it was a very silly thing where he had a ball thrown back at him, like in a bullpen or whatever, and it deflected off his glove and hit him in the lip. Like that would make the most sense to me if that's what happened. It's a boring story. Like I would far rather it be something like Max Scherzer knocked him in the face because he interrupted him or something, or he walked into a pole or something. That would be a better story. But I wouldn't be surprised if it was just some ball that ricocheted off his glove.
I swear I've never done that before. Go to catch the ball, nicks the end of the glove, and it hits you right in the face. Never happens.
Yeah, so I'm actually just actually saw this just like this morning, I think it was, where it was apparently it was Bassett and Lau are having fun. And they just like you said, they were probably throwing a ball back and forth, or maybe just doing something goofy, and he got hit in the face with it. And then the joke was, let's pin this on Max. But I like that they're having fun. I like that they're having fun with it. And I think we've discussed this before. I feel like Scherzer helps, even if he's just staring out of the dugout with a weird eye at, staring at the other pitcher, scaring guys. Like, I don't know. I like it. I just stuck with the story. I had to say you threw at me at BP or something.
Yeah. What was it that you were saying that Max Scherzer would throw it at his own kid in a baseball game?
Oh, it's one of my favorite lines in Major League. Like, honestly, it's just like stuff like that. And it comes out of my mouth at bad times. Like I'll be coaching and I'll say it, and you're like, you can't say that out loud, you dumb. But it's, I think the Jays are primed and ready to hit August hard. And I think that as we go through this, and like you said, we've got almost 400 people on Twitter right now. There's a couple of hundred people on the other side. We love Jeremy and Michael and NBC and all these guys that come in regularly. But let's see some more of you. Let's see some. We need some Johnny Randos. We need some Marlon Randos coming in here and giving us some stuff. And guys, if you want, you can hit us up. Like, you can hit us up in between if you've got questions or anything like that. Just send them through and we'll ask them on the cast. And I'm excited for this month of baseball, especially.
Yeah.
No, Thomas is back. We weren't making fun of you at all when you were gone, Thomas. Nothing bad was said about you.
No, so apparently he's still lagging out. But on
there
that note, I do have my first box filled up here with our winner from our gift thing last week in our duck race. But I'm adding some fun to it because I found out it's going all the way to Puerto Rico. This came fresh from my 3D printer. That's badass, isn't it? It's like 3D and everything.
Pretty cool.
There's also a few other things in there too, but I don't want to ruin all the surprises that go along with the Chris Bassett.
No, don't do that.
But we will be having some other fun here in more contests over the next few weeks as we continue to go through our collections and find things that haven't found its way to the shelf that we think people will have fun and enjoy. That's where I only got so much room back here. And it's all things nerdy too, so I gotta find some fun things to ship out. So on that note, we are wrapping up and whatnot here. Like Jason said, there's plenty of you in the chat in the 500 level cheap seats listening to the show tonight. Hit us up in that chat so we can answer last minute questions here. And to that point, is there anything you guys want to chit chat on before we end up wandering out?
No, I'm sad there's no baseball tomorrow.
No. Well, there's going to be plenty of trade deadline drama, I think.
Oh, it'll be so exciting. This is the most I've seen in a long time. And just the chit chat, like I was driving today and, normally Vancouver sports radio is not talking about baseball and it's all they were talking about. Like,
I know.
Not just Jays. Like, I mean, there's lots of action with the Mariners and there's lots of there's just a lot of stuff being talked about. And I like the fact that, teams like the Cubs are just like, whatever, man, we're in on everybody. Like, name a guy and we're in on it, it's fun. Yeah. And it seems to me like some of the managers are playing along and some of the head offices are playing along a little bit and they want to sort of have their cities swept up in this. I mean, there's no, like Mike Trout isn't on the board, there's nobody like that. Like Suarez is not coming to your city and everyone's going to be like, yay, let's get 28 Suarez jerseys. Like it's not going to happen unless he goes back to Seattle. Then they already have them. So, recycle, reduce, reuse, recycle, which is weird that they're linked to him. A guy that they bailed on is they're now going to pay him the money that they weren't going to pay him plus. Like that
that's how
anyways,
that's how it is.
Yeah, let's get
Speaking
it done.
of that healthy now,
baby.
Yeah, I just got to make one last joke per where you were just going here because I was just scrolling through Twitter, obviously looking for wonderful new news, breaking anything like that, and the Savannah Bananas are completely trolling Major League Baseball trade deadline right now, saying that they had just traded and acquired Anthony Volpe from the Yankees.
That's good.
Did they leave? Let's call a spade here. I don't know if I've ever seen a broadcast team, a media group, and a fan group turn on a guy like that. And then they're mocking about him about a throw that the first baseman. Let's be clear, the first baseman dropped. It wasn't that bad of a throw. The first baseman dropped it, and they're like, a top level shortstop doesn't do this in the majors. I'm like, shut up. Like, you fat idiots. Get out of the box and go down there and take one grounder, and I'll bet you can't even touch it, you fat idiot.
If the Yankees management is that down on Anthony Volpe, I will gladly take a chance on that.
I would take him too.
Just saying.
I would take him in a second. He can grow his sideburns out till he fills his boots.
Yep. And if the asking price has gotten down so bad on former Yankee Luis Severino, who clearly does not want to pitch for the Oakland A's anymore, I will give him a bag of balls and a case of beer for sending Luis Severino our way for taking on that contract. So anyway, picks to click. So last week, I think we got to be nice here too with our buddy Thomas not making it onto the show because of the internet issues with people cutting through his cables in his neighborhood and stuff like that, apparently while they're digging working. I feel like we got to be nice and give him something good here. But last week the picks were as follows. These are shuffled. I'm the only one that knows right now. Kirk, Bo, Barger, and Vladdy.
Bo.
I think we got to go Bo, Jason.
I do too.
The unfortunate reality is now Liz is back in the win column again.
Yeah, I knew it.
It's been 4 weeks since Liz tallied up a W. She gets another one.
Pick a man. Just pick a man. Let's go.
Pick a man. So on that note, Lizinator, you get to go first, but I think I'm going to give the Vladdy Mania to our buddy that did not get a chance to stay with us for this evening.
I agree.
Okay, I agree with that. That's good form. Right.
I'm being a good host.
Who am I going with today? can't go Bo again because I picked Bo last week. Is Cookie back in it?
No, he's still a week away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why
I take him if you want.
No, I'm gonna take Barger.
Going Barge.
Bam. Had a slow week.
Somebody said he looked like Donny Osmond. He said he looked like Donny Osmond, and I agree.
He does look a little bit like Donny Osmond. Again, that's a joke that misses most people.
Yeah, like a young Donny Osmond.
Oh no, our age group is in our area of millennial Gen X-ish.
That was a weird incestuous brother sister.
Yeah, that was weird, man. That was weird, bro. That was weird.
Yeah. Anyway, Jason. On that note, get away from that.
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to really, really, really extend myself, and I'm going with Sir Joseph Loperito.
Yeah, I was actually thinking the same thing. So great minds think alike. I have a strange feeling, post trade deadline, if he survives with the Blue Jays, he is going to have a hell of a week. So
now, if he goes somewhere else, his stats still count for my week, right?
Technically, yeah. I'll allow it. Trade deadline draw.
I'll allow it. Mark it down.
Let's get on. Like freaking celebrity deathmatch going on over here.
Thanks,
Speaking of horrible dated issues. I think seeing I'm basically holding down the basement with the fucking guest spot. I think I got to go Bo. Guy had 7 hits and 7 at bats in Baltimore.
How high did it get? It actually got to 11, didn't it, or 10?
He set
the record,
5,
or tied the record.
He went over 5 yesterday.
Yeah, but 2 days before that, I think his 7 was 7 consecutive at bats with 7 hits. But he ended up having a hell of a 2-game stretch. It's nuts. You imagine being able? I can't even do that in the freaking batting cage, man. I'm gonna foul one off. I'm never gonna hit one fair.
I've never hit a baseball ever, but I bet I could do that. Let's go.
Game on.
You did hit one with your eyebrow.
No. I mean, it was more of a ricochet. Like I made contact. I have made contact.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite Irish baseball player, Ricochet.
Yeah.
Dad joke.
Yeah.
That was good.
It was dad joke. Fun times. So, any parting words?
No, man. Go Jays. Just start winning and hitting and catching. And
really, let's
come on, Liz. Hey, bring me Stephen Kwan.
Hold on. Did you see what just happened in the bottom of the? Is this a long lost relative of mine? Look in the bottom of the chat.
Troy Lyons.
Troy Lyons.
Brother Troy?
Cousin Troy?
It's not a bad thing to end on right there from Cousin Troy.
No, it isn't.
Clearly a stand-up guy. So,
yeah.
Do you think if they bring in another closer that causes a riff, or in the midst of that, to me, I want to win. And if I'm in Hoffman's plan, it's not as much about a winning, but if they brought in somebody, all right, Duran's off the board, who you bring in, and that's going to be
nobody
that's
going to be
better now.
No,
that's the problem.
And Hoffman's a gamer. Hoffman wants to win. Hoffman's there to win. He's made it pretty clear he wants to win. I feel like he strikes me a lot who's the guy from Ontario that closed for the forever for the Jays there. Romero. Why can't I think of his name?
Jordan Romano.
Yes, Jordan Romano. Jordan Romano was fine to move. He was fine to let other guys come in. He just wanted to win. And I think most closers have that sort of killer mentality until another tiger enters the cage. And if that tiger's a little bigger or a little stronger, a little, a little faster, then okay, we're all good.
That's how it happened.
Troy.
That's why Tom Henke was no longer a Blue Jay back when, and Dwayne Ward came in. Just saying.
Yeah, exactly.
Dwayne Ward ate Tom Henke.
He did eat Tom Henke.
He
ate his foot.
What a bullpen that would have been with the two of them in that back end. Oh my God.
You can't because they eat each other. That's what we're learning here.
Closers eat their young.
Okay. Good game, buds.
On that note, go ahead.
That's it. Good game. That was my update.
All right. Thank you very much, all you Blue Jays fans out there. Way too many people of you in the chat. We want to hear from all of you next time. So make sure you tune in next week. I believe we had a guest next week. Why am I thinking we had a guest next week?
We don't. I don't think we have. I think we have a week off, but we're working on guests. We're working on the guests.
That's
maybe Troy Lyons will be a guest. Maybe we'll get another Lions on the panel here.
Awesome.
You never have too many Lions, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, and then we got our buddy. Did you end up confirming with your buddy Steve?
Yeah, my buddy, my buddies who run the Today and Steve History Twitter account, guys, they really like Dave Steve, and they're going to come and beyond to talk to us about. I'm going to say probably Dave Steve. Like probably
Dave Steve, a little bit of Dave Steve.
Probably.
So, yeah. I mean, it could be a worse conversation.
That's true.
We love Steve. So on that note, good deal, everybody. Go Blue Jays. Go trade deadline moves going in our favor. We are going to be back next week having all things talking post-trade deadline and whatever crazy we get into post-KC and whatnot in this coming up week. So take care, Blue Jays fans, and make sure you tune in next week live, Wednesday, 7 p.m. like usual. Go East. Go Blue Jays.
Thank you for listening to the Jay Bird Watching Podcast. Please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Twitch at BirdwatchingGC and our YouTube channel. If you want to support the show and get extra content, please consider joining to our Patreon at patreon.com/birdwatchinggc. Go Jays, go.
Woo!